Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of Prayer 101 with me. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the importance of silence in such a noisy world. I don't know if you can hear the traffic outside my window right now or the people in the hallway, but the world today is just so noisy and we are forgetting, I think, the importance of silence in our lives, and it probably doesn't help with Netflix and Spotify. And I know for me it's so easy to just flick on a movie or flick on some music while I'm working on something, while I'm doing calligraphy or when I'm cooking or whatever it might be. I just sometimes feel like I need to have noise or something going on around me. Even Jesus needed time away from his disciples, away from ministry, a time to get in touch again with the Father. You know, he invites us to come away with him to a quiet place. Mark 6:31 says, he said to them, "Come away to a deserted place all by yourselves and rest a while." If we're in a place with too much noise and we don't go into a place, a space of silence, we're not going to be able to hear him speak to us, and that's all he wants to do. He wants to connect with us. And that's the problem. If we are in a noisy place and we don't allow him a space of silence, we're not going to be able to hear him speak. And our prayer or our conversation with him is going to be a monologue, a soliloquy, and not a dialogue with our rabbi, our Lord, our master, our king, our father, our friend. And a big pet peeve of mine is when people throw the St. Augustine quote of, singing is praying twice. One, he didn't say those exact words. I googled this. This is what St. Augustine said. "For he who sings praise does not only praise, but also praises joyously. He who sings praise is not only singing, but also loving him who is singing about to or for." There is a praise-filled public proclamation in the praise of someone who is confessing or acknowledging God. In the Song of the Lover, there is deep love. And I read this article that a priest had written about the misquoting of St. Augustine in this. I'll link it in the description box. You might find it interesting. I just want to share a quick paragraph in his blog/article post. Augustine is saying that when the praise is of God, then something happens to the song of the praiser, who makes it more than just any kind of song. The object of the song, in a way, becomes the subject. Something happens so that the song itself becomes love, in its manifestation of love, of the one who truly is love itself. I just wanted to point that out because I've challenged someone before to just spend 10 minutes in prayer, and their response to me was, I prayed, I ended up going to a praise and worship night. And anyone who knows me knows I love music, knows I love praise and worship, and knows that singing for me is such a beautiful form of worship because it's the pouring out of the gifts of creativity and musicality in us that each of us possess. Mind you, sometimes I say God is tone deaf because he appreciates the effort of trying to sing him praise. So don't use that as a cop-out to not sing, especially in Mass. Yes, I'm looking at you. I just think music and song doesn't quite give the Lord the fullness of the praise and the worship that he deserves of us carving out time in our day to spend time with him and hang out with him. Music should not replace prayer and silence in a Christian person's life. Music is an additional form of worship, but if we're not taking time to sit down with the Lord, hang out with him, get to know him, praise and worship means nothing if it's not coming out of a deep yearning in our heart to get to know the King. And with that too, I think there sometimes is a fear of what we'll hear him say if we spend time with him in silence, but St. Augustine also said, our hearts are restless until they rest in him. So please stop running. Please go and spend even 10 minutes with the Lord. I always say to students on campus, I always share the story of Leah Darrah that she shared when she was in Melbourne one time, and I went to go see her, and she shared how after the whole America's Next Top Model saga, she was coming back to faith. Either her dad invited her or she was feeling like she needed to go to adoration, but she wasn't sure if she could spend more than 1 minute in there. And I think she said that the first time she went into the adoration chapel, she went in there for 1 minute. And the more she went, the more she spent more time in there. So 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5, 10, 15. And she just kept going until she was comfortable with the idea of silence and of spending time with Jesus. And I think that's where we need to start too. It's great to have ambition, but it's also great and more effective for us to be realistic of where we are in our faith life. And if we can't spend more than 1, 2, 5 minutes in prayer and in silence, start there. Baby steps. And once we become comfortable with that, once we've exercised that part of us to that point, and then we keep building on it. So if you're lucky enough to have a perpetual adoration place or any time of adoration at a parish or chapel near you, I invite you to spend even 1, 2, 5, 10 minutes with the King of Kings and just see what he wants to say to you, hey? Just see what desires and areas in your life that he wants to speak into, and just give him the space and surrender to him the reign and the authority over that area in your life. And you never know what adventure it might lead you to. So in my next video, I'll be covering how to pray with scripture, because I think that is the most fruitful, at least for me, that I've found of prayer. As Catholics, we need to break the stereotype of having Bibles that just gather dust, okay? The Catholic Church, the Catholic faith, collated every book in the Bible. So let's own that. Let's learn how to pray with scripture and let the word invite us into a journey, into the adventure of following Jesus and of living for him. So that's it from me. God bless you. I'm praying for you. Keep chasing after Jesus. Peace. You knit me together. You searched me and you know me.